Today I'm going to share with you my ADHD teacher essentials / what's in my teacher bag / teacher survival kit. Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Lena and this is where I talk about books mostly, but also a little bit about being an art teacher. And that's what I'm talking about today. So if you are either a new teacher or, are just kind of trying to get into the mindset of back to school, I'm here with a little what's in my bag video for you. So I am an art teacher. This is a what's in my bag, but it could also be like what's in your desk. But for me, I am a traveling teacher. I teach the first half of my day at an alternative high school, and then I transition to teaching elementary the second half of my day. I travel, so everything I have needs to be in my bag. Although I do have like set rooms that I go to, I obviously don't have the things that are in that room with me if I'm in the other room. So I need to have like my essentials with me all the time. So first things first, you need a bag that can hold all of your stuff. I have the Conkin. I've never heard anyone say it out loud, but this is the bag I have. As you can see, I've had it quite a while. It is covered in paint and clay, but that's okay. It's doing its job. It's doing really great. And this is the original size. I like it because it never gets too heavy. Well, I never run out of space, but it never gets so full with stuff that I'm not using but haven't taken out of my bag that like it's like heavy to tote around. And I prefer backpack with 2 straps as opposed to a shoulder bag. First up, might seem kind of obvious, but it's a cardigan. I don't know about you, but I cannot control the temperature in my classroom and I never know what I'm going to walk into. So I always dress in layers and I always have a cardigan at each of my classrooms so that I've got it if I need it. As well as a smock, which is art teacher specific if my apron isn't enough coverage for whatever mess we're getting into that day. I am going to pull out my iPad or whatever device it is that you use. We have Chromebooks at my school, but I prefer to use my iPad. I just feel like I can access things a lot quicker, so I bring my personal iPad. On my iPad, I have the Good Notes app that I use every day. So in my Good Notes app, I actually have a folder that is for planning and my calendar. I haven't made one for the new school year yet. That's something that I'm doing this week. I like draw out my seating charts and I have all of my students' names written there, first and last. And then all on one page, I can do attendance. I can keep track of what students I've pulled work for the art show. I can keep track of notes of like behavioral things or like themes that I see coming up, like so that I'm able to better support each student on their individual journeys. I love the Good Notes app for that, and I also use it as my planning. So I on Canva found like a layout that worked well for me for lesson planning. So I have a planner for like my regular days, but then I also have this with just like my specific lessons, so I don't have to squeeze in like stuff with like appointments and stuff like that. It's like just lessons specific. And then that helps me know like, okay, these are the materials I need prepped for this group this week and that kind of thing. If I didn't have my iPad, I would not make it. As far as planning goes, I also recommend having a planner that works for you. And so it takes a little bit of trial and error. And for me as an art teacher, I found out that when I buy a teacher planner, it doesn't accommodate my schedule the way it probably does for a classroom teacher. So I like to do bullet journals for my planner. This is last year's and I'm still using it for like note taking and stuff, but I found a layout that worked for me. And so I always had on each page the little monthly calendar, my full week, so I knew when things were wrapping up, where certain classes left off with things, what we're moving on to the next day. And then I had space for notes. And then I also put like a little thing for meal planning, just so that like if midday I get stressed about, oh, what am I making for dinner tonight for the family, I had it, just a space for it there, but I really didn't use it that much. And then I also would do like a monthly planner at the start of the month, and I would make notes about like, oh, what content areas I wanted to cover with classes that month, and if there were like seasonal projects or something that I wanted to do with my littles that month and that kind of thing. This year I'm trying to do it a little bit more minimally, since I already do all of my tracking for my lessons in my iPad. I am trying to do a more like traditional bullet journal layout just to keep it like more simple. And that's like if, you know, doctor's appointments and staff meetings and things like that, I put that all in here. And then my iPad is just for actual like lesson planning. I also recommend, because that is paper, having like a little bag of stationery. I personally love using the Crayola Super Tips. They are like my absolute favorite. They are my go-to. I don't use them with my students, but I use them for me. Well, I do like recommend to my high schoolers sometimes. I'm like, you should get the Super Tips. They're like cheap and they're awesome. So I have lots of Super Tips, and I have my favorite highlighters. I have all of that in a little pouch with some of my favorite pens. I love this pen. What is this? It's a Pilot Acro Ball. It's like a ballpoint pen, but oh my gosh, I love the way these write, and they are so hard to find. My friend Brandy got me stuck on them when we were in our yoga teacher training together, and I have never gotten over it. These are my favorite pens. I wish they were easier to find. I like it when my notes are pretty. The next thing is my headphones. I just have my JBLs here. I love to listen to audiobooks, obviously. I am a major bookworm, and so when I am in my planning time and I am mixing paint, or I am refilling glue bottles, or I am cutting paper, it doesn't take a lot of brain power to do those things, but it takes a lot of time. And so I like having an audiobook playing because it helps me stay at a good clip. Because I do have ADHD, I can get distracted really easily, and it's hard for me to accomplish mindless tasks. That's why I go through so many audiobooks, because I need them to like pace me through my day. I do it for when I'm cooking, making art like on my own time, or if I'm like throwing pots downstairs. So throwing pots on the pottery wheel, not throwing pots because I'm mad. To be clear. So I always need to have my headphones with me. The next thing, this is probably art teacher specific, but it is Kiss Off Stain Remover. This will get anything out of your clothes. It is amazing. If you are an art teacher, or if even you teach like really young students that you happen to get like paint on you and stuff sometimes, I would highly recommend. So Kiss Off. The next thing, kind of obvious, but lip balm. Yeah, when I'm doing like a lot of ceramics work, it's just dusty and my lips get really dry. Always have to have a backup hair tie, you know that. And then also my loop earplugs. These are a lifesaver. So as someone with ADHD, I am super triggered by like background noise. These are the Loop Engage. And so they are earplugs that you put in, and it like filters out the background noise so that you can still hear yourself speaking. And if you're having a conversation with a student, you can still hear what they are saying, but it filters out all of the background noise. So I don't wear these all the time, but if it is like independent work time and I am making my rounds and working with single students at a time, love having these because it helps me focus on the student that I'm helping at the time. And they're perfect because I can still hear the phone ring. I can still hear like if an alarm goes off or something, I can still hear all of those things, but it just like filters out the noise. I don't know how they work. They're amazing. If you are a teacher who is like triggered by like auditory stuff, the Loop Engage is perfect for the classroom. Like it just makes me calm instantly. Even if it's like kids are chaotic, they're excited about stuff, like it just like mellows me out. The last thing that I have here is comfortable shoes that are specifically for your classroom. Mine are so dirty, but these are the flats that Crocs makes, and they are so comfy. I can wear them all day. I wore them like all through my pregnancy when I was on a cart, and I still wear them today. That's why they're very worn out and covered in dust and mud and paint and all the things, because I wear them every day, all day at school. But yeah, having shoes that are comfortable for you to wear all day and to move in is super important. So those are my teacher essentials. Without those things, I would not make it through my day. So also I have, not pictured here, would be my coffee and my lunch and all of those other things, but just like, you know, the life essentials. But these ones I feel like are a little bit more teacher specific. So I would love to hear what your teacher essentials are. And if you have any questions or recommendations, drop them in the comments. I would love to see. We don't have a lot of art teachers here on YouTube. So if you are one, shout out. I want to find out. I want to meet. I want to get to know each other. And I will see you next time. Bye.